Hey, friendos. Josru here with Kakita Jamie. Brad, how are you?
Good, Joss.
We're going to do a team up play of Solo Champions League 1901, which is against Crossbones, and we got leadership. We got a bunch of are they all Avengers? I think they're all Avengers, right? A bunch of Avengers heroes.
I never really paid attention to that, but yes, I think they are all Avengers. Yes.
Okay, and you chose Captain Marvel, so we're gonna have a look at your Captain Marvel deck.
Yeah.
So I pulled it up on the screen, and you can see it because you're kicking around on TTS here. So Captain Marvel make the call, and yeah, give us an overview of what you were trying to accomplish with this.
So, looking at Crossbones as a villain, the biggest SCL problem is his first main stage scheme being only 3 threat.
Very low.
That means one advance is guaranteed to lose you a bunch of points. Also in the deck, there's about 2 insights in there as well, so you need to make sure to keep the threat low. So that was the first note that I paid attention to. So to me, that means confuse right off the bat. And Captain Marvel has both Spider-Woman, has Spider-Woman, and then you're able to play Professor X. So that gives me two confused sources for leadership. Then I added in call for backup just to kind of make sure that I had an extra spot in there to be able to go fix them out. So backtracking from that base point, I went into Crossbones kit and kind of looked for things that would hold up the game. Good example is Hydra soldiers.
Yeah.
Hydra soldiers will hold you up. Crossbones assault will hold you up. A number of things will make your game a little more challenging. So then I could have started building a toolkit. So when I build in leadership, I try to build toolkit allies towards the scenario that I'm facing. So in this case, that's where M comes in and Vivian comes in.
Right.
M does M defeats a minion, so it doesn't get around the Hydra soldier bit. But just being able to have her come out, pop away the minion, and be done with it is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Vivian's great because Crossbones assault and all the other various annoying things that you can blank, like Hydra soldier. She just blanks it. You clear them. You don't get the extra encounter card or the extra attack or any of the annoyances. The other nice thing about Vivian is sometimes you know that piece of equipment that's attached to them is going to cause you trouble. For example, the energy shield. Sometimes you just, instead of worry, you either A, don't worry about it and take the retaliate, or B, you can at least blanket with Vivian and make it so that you just don't worry about it again and go through the end. Outside of that, just good allies, right? Mockingbird, Beast. Beast and Nick Fury are great in this particular matchup because Carol comes with energy absorptions, so they're a lot easier to play. Beast becomes almost equivalent to Nick Fury.
Yep.
Because of the fact that he can search for energy absorption. So then recognizing the core allies that I wanted, making sure that they all worked with make the call, rapid response, stuff like that. Outside of that, it was just resource generators. Deck started with 1 clarity of purpose, but I ended up putting it to 2 because it's such a great card to trigger her rechannel ability every time.
Right.
There's probably a couple of things that I cut that if I had done more practices, I probably could have cleaned the deck, like tightened the deck up a little bit. I found myself never using superpower training. I probably put more faith in wanting to play Cosmic Flight than I ever did. Cosmic Flight was only going to happen if I really had the time and extra resources to do it. I probably could have lived without the team training, but if you look at my overall hero health scores in the game, team training didn't hurt.
Right.
In fact,
26 health is hilarious.
Yeah. There's plenty of times when it was maybe excessive, but there was also times when that gave me an activation with every single ally I had sitting on the board at 1 health left. Queen Carrier, Helicarrier, Triskelion, standard stuff. Rapid response works great with Beast. I don't think there's a card in here that I didn't play outside of superpower training.
Right.
That's why I said that would probably be the cut. I don't think I played it once. Priority 1 with this is get a confuse on the villain. Then it's just kind of win the game, get an energy channel down, so that way you can have a 10 damage energy channel sitting on the board waiting.
Mm-hmm.
As you're maintaining all the pieces, parts of the board, slowly whittling down Crossbones to the point where you just wait for a turn, pop him over to his other form or his second stage, use the energy channel, and find the extra damage to kill him some other way. That's general strategy for how I handled the rounds. And all along hoping that Legions of Hydra doesn't show up. But
not a strategy.
There's nothing you can do to prevent that outside of running a really slow deck with like Heimdall and Falcon. And I didn't think any of that. I didn't think it was worth it. I knew this game would go relatively quick.
Right.
Crossbones doesn't have a ton of health.
Cool. So let's here. I'm just trying to go back to my. All right, so we'll pull out kind of a rundown with one thing I think is so you can be back with a bunch of experience with this deck, which I am not. I've played plenty of Captain Marvel, but not obviously. So got our initial hand, Spider-Woman. So we got to confuse right off the bat. How much have you been finding in this matchup that you've been flipping? Like Alpha Flight Station, do we consider that?
Turn 1, yes. I do my best not to flip. The only time I've flipped is coincidences due to either the effects from the down to earth scenario,
right,
that force me to flip, or if I get her obligation, which honestly, her obligation is, in my opinion, an actual boon way more than it is a hindrance. But turn 1, turn 1 Alpha Flight Station would be a consideration. I would probably have hold on to it on a turn 1 and see what else I get, and then decide from there whether it's worth the time.
Especially because we already have Confuse in hand, and so realistically, we're going to get another card. Plus, we'll probably draw into at least some sort of resource card between the extra card draw and the mulligan, and so it's kind of interesting what might be the best thing to do. But I think at this point, rapid response doesn't make a ton of sense. Crisis interdiction, helmet, and then build support we can actually clear on turn 1 if we're going to play Jess. So we keep Spider-Woman, Alpha Flight Station, build support.
That is how I keep it as well.
That's how you keep it. So we did not manage to draw into a double, but now we're going to use our commander action and grab one more card. I'm going to name us, and so we didn't end up getting any doubles. That's interesting.
Unlucky draw.
Draw. Now there's a neat thing that happens when we start, and this won't probably happen because we're going to do build support, but a neat thing that you can do is when the villain has retaliate, since you don't start with any health lost, you can't trigger your rechannel. But you could actually attack the villain to take a damage to then trigger rechannel if you wanted to continue trying to cycle cards to chase after stuff.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fun. And then in this case, I think the math works out, right? We could play, I'm not actually doing it, but we could play Alpha Flight Station, ditch a card to get 2 cards. Then we have the 6 cards we need to do build support and Spider-Woman. So we could kind of do what that initial plan was. You like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get the Alpha Flight Station down to see if we can maybe filter into something, a double or a triple.
Sure. Okay, so Alpha Flight Station will ditch superpower training. Oh no, that's a yellow. There's a reason we might want to keep that. So ditch photonic blast to pay for it, and then maybe ditch Quinn carrier for, since we're gonna get it back anyway.
Yeah, because ultimately Quinn carrier is going to be it's going to be what we'd want anyway, and we're not going to play it.
So we're going to ditch it to draw 2 cards. And we still have none of our double or triple resources, which is, fine. Life's like that. We flip, and we're going to have one too many resources ultimately, but that's fine. Unless there's some way that I'm not seeing this, right? So build support's going to come out, cost us 3 threat to actually clear. So Spider-Woman and Carol need to team up to do it. That'll get us the Quinn carrier. But all those things require having already spent all the resources, so we'll just have an unused Quinn carrier that is there in the end.
An alternative here, an alternative here that I would have considered in this is going after looking at the rest of my support setup, right? So we have team training and the Triskelion. Triskellion's not worth it because we don't have any more people. Team training I would have thought about for a moment, and then just because Spider-Woman only has 2 health, but we figure we're going to end up blocking with her anyway, so the team trading wouldn't be worth it. This is one of the lines I definitely would have thought about, but I think ultimately we're making the correct line.
Right. This one doesn't bank on something else showing up.
Right.
That we don't know what it is.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay.
Right. So we'll play build support. We will play Spider-Woman. And she comes into play with 2 health. And then build support's got 3 threat on it, but we're going to deal with that in a second. And she also, Spider-Woman comes in and enters play and confuses the villain. So we've got a confuse on there. And then Captain Marvel and Spider-Woman will team up to take out build support. So it goes from 3 down to 0. It goes into the victory display. And then we go and grab our Quinn carrier. So now we're sitting on a Quinn carrier whenever we need it. And there is nothing else we can do unless I missed something obvious.
Nope.
And then I'm just going to grab a turn counter. So that was turn 1 our side. And then we go and we draw 5 cards because we are not Hulk. And so we've got a second Confuse. So if we actually ran into a Confuse this turn, we could hide behind another one if we wanted to. And we got Clarity of Purpose, which is, of course, beautiful. But with Quinn Carrier, the urgency of it feels a little bit less. But I guess we'll talk it through once we get there because we don't have any decisions to make at this point about our hand.
Right.
So villain, it's going up one per turn. Villain's attacking us. Block with Spider-Woman. You like blocking with Spider-Woman. We like blocking with Spider-Woman.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. So boost card, and we got Madame Hydra. That is just beautiful to see.
Nice.
And
not as bad when she comes up on her own, but still.
Agreed. Fully agreed. And then we got our encounter card. There's our advanced. Okay.
Wow. All right.
So he could have schemed and not have it scheme out. Oh no, because he has the Exo-Suit, so it can't happen. Yeah.
No,
okay.
It's guaranteed because we're running Exo-Suit.
Unless we cleared the Exo-Suit, which is not how we're doing it. Okay. So that was first turn. So we're on turn 2, and we now want to consider. So we have with Quinn Carrier, we have 6 resources. So we could definitely play Clarity of Purpose and Professor X. That gets us a blocker. For this turn, we can also do a fun, do some damage and use rechannel. We can also look at getting rid of Energy Shield. So in the way I've been playing my own matchups, I'm playing Ant-Man, not Captain Marvel. I'm playing pretty conservative. There's 2 advances. The chance that we see the other one right away is not super high, obviously, but I would still probably be inclined to kind of build the board and play Professor X as the primary thing I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
What would you be inclined to do here?
So I would almost certainly Clarity of Purpose in the hopes of getting our damage and then being able to use rechannel. That way we can draw our card and see if we get some something better than Professor. But almost certainly gonna want to play Professor. I think your line is correct, just because you're right. We've gotten rid of 1 advance, but there's still a second, and I've had terrible luck. And we still need to clear his thwart. While it's overkill, definitely keeps that main threat at 0, and that risk of that insight in there also is there. And I'd really hate to waste Carol on that. The other thing we probably want to start thinking about is, can we get rid of Energy Shield conveniently?
Yep.
But I think having Professor X to block, get the Confuse down, and getting Clarity of Purpose down outweighs that. The other thought, too, is the Alpha Flight Station, if we want to cycle something and in an attempt to see if we get something good before we do any of that.
Right. Yeah, so my brain often forgets the Alpha Flight Station is just a straight up cycle when you're in Hero. So
I can tell you for a fact I forgot this too, Joss.
Great. So realistically, we might be able to ditch Energy Shield, as you're saying. So I mean, I think it's all but guaranteed we're not playing Helicarrier or Photonic Blast. So we could start with that.
Yes.
Use Alpha Flight Station to cycle, say, Helicarrier. We got a second Clarity of Purpose because you were being very careful. And then another thing we could do before doing anything else is we could do just straight up attack Crossbones to take a damage to be able to rechannel to cycle 1 more time. But then that kind of forces our hand in terms of we need to get an ally out to be able to do some threat removal.
Yes. And I like I said, I think almost certainly we're playing Professor X no matter what. I think the only way we wouldn't play Professor X first is probably if we drew Beast. And then we'd still end up playing Professor X first.
Right, but at this point we don't have
Sure.
any double or triple resources anyway. So if we play Clarity of Purpose,
Yep.
and then use it to rechannel.
Yep.
So we'll use it to rechannel. So we take a damage, we heal a damage, we draw a card. So we just cycled 2 cards this turn. We got Vivian.
Very happy to see Vivian, by the way.
Right. Well, and we could hold Vivian.
Yeah.
If we wanted to. Well, I mean, we can hold the card, so we can hold.
We can hold the card. I was curious. I was contemplating that. Vivian with the 3 make the calls, and I don't think we've seen a single one yet.
Yeah.
I don't think we necessarily need to hold her.
Right.
But the card to hold is that's an interesting thought. I don't think rapid response is doing anything for us right now.
Nope. Agreed.
And I think photonic blast, given that I think we've already discarded one, right?
Yeah.
Probably has more value.
Right. So the chance that we'll see a minion that we would kind of like to hit with photonic blast is, not negligible.
Right.
So yeah, why don't we try that? So we'll say Quinn Carrier. We got 3 make the calls we haven't seen yet, so that's 3 resources we can bring in. Professor X. We get another Confuse. We are so rich. And that takes the main scheme down to 0. And then I guess in the end, probably attack to just start pushing some damage, knowing that she has lots of ways to kind of keep on recovering, especially given what your health scores ended up being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then we take 1 retaliate damage. And we're going to hold Photonic Blast, draw back up to 5. And now we got to make the call. We got Mockingbird.
Nice.
More Photonic Blasts. Okay. Right, and even if we drew another advance, we would not really be inclined to make the call with Professor X, because that doesn't really get us anywhere, because we would now have seen both of our.
Yeah. Wow.
Advances.
This is over half the deck, and we haven't seen a single double.
Well, we're gonna have some fun turns coming up. So
Yes.
Villain turn 2, 1 threat on the main scheme. We get attacked. Professor X blocks, and we get Crossbones Assault. The side scheme you were talking about is a good one for Vivian. So that takes out Professor X.
Yep.
And then we get our actual encounter card and full auto to discard X cards from the top of the encounter deck, where X is his attack. Right now his attack is 1 plus the 1 over here, so that's going to be 2. And then we take 1 indirect for each. So we got 1, 2, 3. And then we just say 3 damage is not too scary.
Nope, not too bad.
Okay, so turn 3, we have 7 resources. We do have, again, an ability to cycle. If we... Let's go just double check which allies we have in here, because I no longer remember. So we've seen Vivian, we've seen Spider-Woman, and we've got Professor X there on the top, and then we've got Mockingbird. So we have 7 resources, which means we could Photonic Blast to do some damage and cycle. We do have, as you've mentioned before, Alpha Flight Station that we could just cycle a card. Maybe that's the very first thing we do. You want to just seek other solutions.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
let's see if we get something that changes our mind.
Okay. There you go.
All right. Well, that's going to get played.
So that is going to get played, and we have, right. let's imagine we're going to use Mockingbird. And then we can again use Clarity of Purpose for a net 0 if we want to. No actual healing in this case, but that's fine. So yeah, I think I would be probably most inclined to play Mockingbird. I guess we're starting to creep up on the point where we really do want to try to get rid of this dumb energy shield. And so with 7 resources, we could actually not put anything on energy channel. And yeah, so if we Clarity of Purpose to cycle a card, which maybe we don't even bother. I guess drawing into a double or triple would allow us to start putting some stuff on energy channel. So I guess there's a good reason to Clarity of Purpose into rechannel. So yeah, maybe Clarity of Purpose into rechannel, get one more card, get energy channel down, get Mockingbird down, and then if between all the stuff that we have, we should be able to get rid of the energy shield as well. Unless I miscounted.
Let me propose
Please.
a slightly different ordering of things.
I'm listening.
So if we utilize Quinn Carrier to activate rechannel rather than using Clarity of Purpose.
Sure.
We get that first heal, we get the draw.
Yep.
Let's say we draw into something good, a big double, something that allows us to save a little bit of resources. We can always use the Clarity of Purpose later to take the heal we just lost, or we can try our best to both get rid of energy shield, to get everything we want to get played, and try not to use Clarity of Purpose to see if we can start getting a little bit heal in there, just to be conservative. And it doesn't. I don't think it affects our turn order.
No, agreed. So Quinn Carrier, we heal 1, and we get a card. And comically, we still do not have any double or triple resources.
Oh, that's just how it goes.
We smash energy channel, and then we need a mental, so we can play all these things to get out Mockingbird. Where's my stun? There's my stun, which stuns the villain. We can Clarity of Purpose. Clarity of Purpose for 1 with Make the Call to ditch the energy shield finally.
Yep.
And then Mockingbird can get that 1 threat out of there for us. Because as you mentioned, there is some insight in there. So if we even let it get up to 2, that could still make it flip.
Yep.
And then we do 2 damage.
Great.
I'm just going to switch my counters so that I do this the way that I'm used to. All right. And then we didn't put anything on energy channel, but C'est la vie.
Unfortunately, that's how that works sometimes.
There we go. Okay, well, it's going to be a wacky turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so villain turn 3, 1 threat on the main, stun, so no attack. We get our encounter card. And look at that.
Oh, that's so nice.
We just have to exhaust Carol Danvers and remove this from the game. So we'll flip down, exhaust. This is gone, and we say turn 4. Here we come.
I know it's core box and they didn't get much testing, but that's just, that obligation is so beneficial since she's got a default card draw in her alter ego ability. The exhaust is not not terrible.
Nope. So now we can get 2 cards out of Alpha Flight Station. There's a small chance I'll want to play Team Training. So I throw Energy Channel at the
Makes
station.
sense to me.
Yeah. And just confirming these are all hero resources. No, Queen Carrier is not. I still think that's the thing that makes sense. But so Alpha Flight Station grabs us 2. Okay.
Okay.
And then we get should have also got our 1 card out of Carol.
There we go.
That's the thing. And then we are going to deck ourselves by the end of this turn.
And we know we have at least 2 more doubles in there and beast.
Right. So we're going, interestingly, Mockingbird can take care of our threat here. So we should be able to get Crossbones on the precipice, have our energy channel all charged up, and
Almost certainly.
Kind of just be ready for hopefully next turn being able to finish it off.
Yeah, and I think we can do the same similar situation with Queen Carrier of let's see if we can not get that extra H, not use it at this turn if possible. Which feels highly likely.
Right. So probably good to see what Fury gets us before we do anything else, right?
Yes, because it's not like we're playing Crisis Interdiction this turn.
No. So we'll play the triple and Crisis Interdiction. We'll still have access to up to 5 resources if we want for pumping into Energy Channel. So Fury comes into play with 3, and we get 3 cards. Interesting. So Kid Omega at this point is not super valuable. I know we got Beast, but who else? So Vivian doesn't do much at this point. And we got energy absorption and energy that we can dump into Energy Channel. So yeah, I don't know. I'm always inclined to Maria Hill, but if we play Maria Hill, I guess we could bring out Beast and overwrite Mockingbird after we activate her, or we save for a great turn next turn. But right, we're gonna if Beast comes out, we're not gonna have any of the triple resources. Sorry, if we draw into Beast this turn when we're done, we're not going to be able to have any triple resources because they're all going to be out of play. But and like back into the draw pile. So we're probably not going to take advantage of Beast.
Why? So Beast works out of your discard as well.
No, sorry, I'm saying if at the end of our turn, if we don't try to draw any more cards this turn,
right?
Beast, we would draw into Beast, and where we're at in our deck would mean that all of our resource cards are going to be back in our draw pile. So we probably want to pursue. If we want to get use out of Beast, we probably just want to keep on pushing for cards.
I agree.
So do you like Quinn Carrier into get a heal and a card?
Yeah, especially because you made the important point that we are currently ally slot restricted.
There he is. Okay, so this allows us to not have to play Maria Hill if we want.
Yes, I was trying to think if we should or should not play Maria Hill, and because the nice part about playing Beast is we're going to run out of stuff to play is, I guess, where my brain's going.
Yep.
If we play Beast, we get him down, we get the energy channel we used to pay for him back. Energy absorption back. We pump that into energy channel. We pump the energy into energy channel. That leaves us a strength, Kid Omega, team training, and Maria Hill, and a make the call. The make the call is going to be dead because we're coming up on a shuffle.
Yep.
But we would get team training down, which, given our current board, actually is pretty positive. Have we discarded Triskelion yet? I'm not allowed to look at the discard pile as a spectator.
I believe we have not. And yes, we have not seen Triskelion. So we could Maria Hill first. There's 3 cards left. We could Maria Hill first, knowing that we're inevitably going to either have to play Triskelion or override an ally this turn, just because we don't have much to spend things on otherwise.
And I don't believe we have anything in our discard pile that's worthy of bringing back at the moment.
No.
I like that idea.
Okay, so I'll use strength from Maria Hill. And okay.
Well, we're rich.
So we're officially out of card draw. Unless we want to do some really wacky stuff where we overwrite Fury instead and make the call him. So as you mentioned before,
Fury,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, keep going. I'm talking out loud.
I see. Well, yeah. So Fury. So we can activate with Fury. Play Beast for a net of 2 effective resources. Make the call Fury. The Triskelion probably doesn't really help us in the end in that sequence.
Well, no. Yeah, because we'd still have to overwrite something in order to play the Triskelion. So in this case, it's I don't think we should. I think we should just let Nick Fury do what Nick Fury does, because the real advantage here is if we block with Nick Fury next turn, we'll have him in our discard for more make the calls in the future. I guess we'd have that either way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we have to do a resource count. So let's assume we're not going to do clarity of purpose. We want to shove energy and energy absorption into energy channel. So that leaves us with 6 resources right now. If we play Beast, that's just a net of 2, so we'd be down to 4, which means we could then make the call for. I think we do that because that's the way to do positive stuff. I mean, other than a team training line, I think.
An alternative line is we play out team training, pump up the energy channel, and just make the call Beast for next turn. Because next turn we'll have Nick Fury in the discard. We'll have Beast in hand. And if we get a Beast out, we can go get the energy absorption. Assuming we can make the call, we could then Beast make the call Nick Fury next turn.
No, but we're going to reshuffle. We won't be able to have energy absorption. We're at 2 cards left in our draw pile.
I'm not sure I follow.
Oh, if we're going to play energy absorption and energy,
Right.
we're gonna shuffle. We're not gonna have anything in our discard for Beast to grab.
You can search your deck with Beast.
Oh, can you? It's not just discard. It's not just
Yes.
discard. Oh, I don't know how I didn't know that. Okay, forget everything I said.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't following. I think you made made a comment similar to that before, and it just didn't follow quite right. But now that makes a ton more sense.
Okay. So we would be ending the team with we would be ending the turn with 3 unplayed cards though. So
yes,
I would continue just to say I think we just let Mockingbird go and actually play Beast.
Go for it.
So I guess the big thing is we're trying to make sure we're set up where he's at a minimum of health. Right now on the board, we've got 1 thwart and 3 damage. So if we could get another 4 damage out of this, we would be really well set up. And the way to get another 4 damage out of it is to play Beast and Fury. So then he'd be sitting at 1 health.
That math tracks.
So I think with the actual like strategic approach, I think that's the thing that actually makes the most sense to me. The other thing is with all of this, no, never mind. That other thought didn't work. So we could go Beast, energy absorption, Kid Omega.
Kid Omega. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do that in a sec, but first we're going to do is just thwart with Mockingbird. Oh no, we're not. That doesn't matter because we're going to use Fury. I forgot about that. So attack with Fury.
Yes.
And then we'll bring in Beast to overwrite Fury. And that grabs the energy channel back. Beast attacks for 2. Now Mockingbird. Could have done this earlier anyway, but come on, everything. Thwart for 1. Then we make the call. Oh, interesting. Here's some awkwardness. So, I mean, it's almost guaranteed we'll get at least 1 more energy resource, and then we can, of course, clarity of purpose if we need to. So I think it's fine to play. So instead, we should have actually used. We haven't actually done anything that would allow us to undo that. So instead, we should use team training.
Yeah.
To keep the Kid Omega, right?
It just keeps an extra energy resource in there for us. But I think at the end of the day, we're still going to discard it.
Yeah.
To play Nick Fury. Or no, never mind. I'm wrong.
Okay, so we're going to overwrite Mockingbird. And yoink, yoink, yoink. That gets us 2, so we're going to get a Triskelion for sure. Call for backup.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And then 1 more, and then we're going to get an encounter card. All right, so... Man, we still have a lot of stuff.
It's so mathy.
Call for backup is a thing that can bite us in the butt if we just leave it out.
Well, if we set up call for backup, we can set up a Nick next turn too.
Yeah, get 3 more cards.
And with, let's see, we'll have Nick will take the defense. Beast and Maria will be on board.
So we'll just use our genius on call for backup, pump everything else into energy channel, take him down to 1.
I think that is the correct play at this point in time, yes.
Okay.
Either that or we take the damage off of Clarity Purpose and save the genius.
I don't think it's worth it. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. We're gonna have so much health, but
yeah.
Doesn't seem necessary. Okay, so that's put 5 on there. Call for backup, paying for it with genius, and what a fun turn.
Nice.
Okay, so photonic blast, so we easily have the extra damage that we need because he has 14 on
and we've got a
stage
rapid
2.
response, which
And then
has the potential to do something fun.
right. And then Vivian on the off chance that we have something we need to get around. Okay. So that was turn 4. Oops. That goes up by 1. He goes and attacks. We block with Fury. Hydra Bomber. And then we get a second encounter card. So our first one, which is from decking it out, is Rate.
Nice. Easy
That is
win.
That is not a scary thing. Well, hold on there. Okay, so we got attacked. Marie Hell.
Did you delete the assault?
Oh, probably. I didn't mean to. Too much octagon on the brain. Okay, so Hydra Soldier into Maria Hill.
Yep.
And turn 5. So we can use our base to clear stage 1, photonic blast, energy channel to defeat beast to clear the last thing, and it would be good to get a little more health because we start with 12, so we need to get 3? We need to get 15 to get max points because it's 120% rounded up.
So that's a good question with the way the system was done. I believe now that the challenges exist, it's only about getting to base health, which is 12.
Oh, is there no 110 anymore for health?
No, I
Okay.
think he changed that when
Okay,
Bear added the challenges.
Okay. Well, we can definitely get to 12. So, do we want to just do Quinn Carrier or rechannel before we do anything else? I think so.
Yeah, I think that and Alpha Flight Station, because we're only going to need one of those photonic blasts, so we can, or heck, even that crisis interdiction. Well, we may want to actually hang on to that. The second photonic blast feels less likely to be played.
Yeah, there's no. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to cycle that. Helicarrier, we're going to use our face to clear. So we got machine gun showed up. And he's now at 14 health. We are going to photonic blast with, we need, let's say, cosmic flight. there's no shenanigans to be had. So we'll do that.
Yep.
Cosmic Flight, Helicarrier, Rapid Response for Photonic Blast. We're paying with at least one, so we're going to get a card out of it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those all go. And
So instead of using Beast, we can use one of the Crisis Center.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess playing Vivian.
Great.
No, Vivian's more net health.
Right.
And you use Beast, and then Vivian just gets extra 2 health, as opposed to the extra 1 you save from Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a clear
I'm
call for backup.
Oh yeah, right. That was the whole thing. I was like, gotta not forget about. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So Beast is there. This still has 1.
Yes.
We are going to Crisis Interdiction and use Beast to do that, then bring out Fury. Okay. So good.
So do
Good
we
spotting.
save Vivian and take the damage, since we're gonna get Fury anyway, and we're gonna have plenty of extra health?
You just want to spam more health.
Yeah, I'm all about spam. That I got to 26 health and 24 health.
Sure. Okay. So we use Crisis Interdiction, and then Clarity of Purpose to take us down to 9. To do 2 there. Beast does that. Clears. Call for backup. Fury comes into play with 3. And we get 3 cards.
Turns out it wouldn't have mattered because we had to make the call, but
Right.
never knew what you were going to draw.
So we can get potentially more health than Vivian. Do we make the call for Maria Hell? That's what you do, right? In life?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you make the call. If we draw into a double, we'll be able to play Vivian, but that doesn't matter because
Save team training.
Save team training.
Because if we do draw into that double,
yep,
we can use team training. It's in that 3 health.
There you go.
Didn't happen.
So Real, and then we energy channel. Pew! And so 5 turns. We got 14 health on the board.
You did better than all my official rounds.
We did better.
Yes.
That was a team effort. Okay, that's pretty smooth.
Yeah, and honestly, that's about how all my games felt. It usually took some extenuating circumstances from the encounter deck. My practice games were my last 2 before I did my official were turn 5 wins. But they also had nice, pretty encounter sets like we drew there.
Right. Yeah, we didn't see Shadows, Legions of Hydra, or an untimely advance, even though we were set up to not have that.
Yeah, as I was playing these games, one of the thoughts that I had was that Legions of Hydra is basically Shadows of the Past.
Mm-hmm.
Like at this point in time in the game's history, it was more or less another Shadows of the Past, or 2 more copies of Shadows of the Past in the deck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially with the condition Madam Hydra has of you can't take any more damage. Or she can't take damage as long as Legions is out. And it comes out with so much threat. Especially with Crossbones.
To have a Hydra villain, that's another 2 threat.
Yeah.
So yuck. Well, Kakita Jamie, thank you for sharing your deck, and thanks for coaching me through what felt like a very smooth victory. So
Thank you for having me,
apologies we didn't.
Jasa.
Yeah. Apologies we didn't get into the 20s with our health, but life's like that.
I'll take the turn 5 over the 20 health.
Brilliant.
As with the new scoring, extra health not being as important. I think I don't remember what he said in the interview, and you were there, but in your podcast, I remember him saying that the health wouldn't be as big of a concern, but I don't remember if he said it didn't have a factor, but I know it doesn't get you over 100 anymore.
Right.
That much.
Okay.
That much I do remember.
Yeah, so you're just trying to get back to your starting health between you and your allies.
Yeah, which I think is much more manageable, and it's a change that I definitively like that he made.
Yeah, it feels less like juicing.
Right. I think the only difference I would have made in this round, and a real into the challenge, is rather than the Exo-Suit, I would have I actually put this suggestion in there to look at Crossbones machine gun counters as the extra challenge. So if it has none, you get the most points. If it has one, you're kind of in the middle.
Right. So you gotta wait it out.
Yeah, you've got to actually. It encourages you to rush him to stage 2, so that way he can get his counters down. So that way you can finish him. I like the turn play in it, but
yeah, that's really fun.